Good morning. It's Sunday, April 7th. And on Friday, I don't have to tell you this, but I will. There was an earthquake. And I'll tell you about my experience with the earthquake. It was quite mild compared to some of the other stories that I heard. I was sitting at my computer doing my after-rant processes. And I have a chair that I sit on. It's an office-type chair, and it's a mobile chair. You can twist and turn in the chair, and it goes up and down to whatever level you feel comfortable in. And while I was sitting there, I felt a shimmer in the chair. Nothing major, but I assumed that the chair was about to slide down to the bottom, which it does occasionally when I'm sitting there. So I didn't think anything of it, but then after about 30 seconds, the shimmering stopped. I didn't think anything more of it. As usual, I had finished my 10 o'clock routine, so to speak, and I decided it was time for me to go out and do a little shopping. I got in the car and I took off toward one of my favorite grocery stores. And I also had to pick up some medicines at Walmart. In any event, I turn on the radio in the car, and what do I hear? I hear about this 4.68 earthquake that took place in the northern part of New Jersey. And I realize that the shimmering in my chair was actually the result of this earthquake. Anyhow, while I'm out shopping, I run across a couple of people and we say hi. I don't know these people, but everybody was friendly, and I asked the first guy I met, I said, do you hear about the earthquake? And he said, yeah, I was in the house too, and it shook a little bit, and I got in my car and I'm out shopping. Nothing major in his life, but there were many people that were out shopping at that point in time, and they did not know there was an earthquake. In fact, when I mentioned it to some woman I was standing online with, she was shocked, because she hadn't heard anything about it, but she had left her house to shop earlier than I did, I guess. So anyhow, this morning, before I start my rant, I'll tell you what happened around other places beyond my minor personal experience. And my brother lives in Jersey, but I haven't been able to get hold of him because he spends his winters in Florida, and I think he's visiting his daughter in South Carolina right now. So I'm not sure how far he lives from this earthquake. I'll have to do some research to find that out. But meanwhile, this was a 4.8 magnitude earthquake, and it hit near White House Station, New Jersey, on Friday morning. I have no idea where White House Station is in New Jersey exactly, except it seems to be in the upper regions of New Jersey. In fact, if you look at my shirt, it's a map that I captured from the internet, and I decided I would put it on my shirt this morning to show you the regions where this earthquake took place. I hope you can see it. Now, this earthquake is not a single shock event, because all day long there were aftershocks. In fact, there was an aftershock reported about 6 p.m. in the evening that was a 3.8 magnitude, and it was centered near Gladstone, New Jersey. That's what the United States Geological Survey said. And the aftershock was initially said to be 4.0 magnitude. So this is not a single moment in time, but it continues And I don't know how long this one will continue. It might be just very quick and done in a day, or we may be having shocks for a couple of days. It's not unusual for them to be aftershock. Remember, this thing started at 10:23 a.m. and it's still going strong in the evening. And this is an area that's about 60 miles northeast of Philadelphia. And according to the U.S. Geological Survey, aftershocks can continue for days and weeks. So the Friday morning quake startled millions of people in a region of the country that is unaccustomed to these tremors, right? We don't get this kind of weather often. In fact, they're talking about this thing being the first event in over 100 years. I didn't even know we ever had an earthquake in this region. And supposedly this earthquake has a depth of about 3 miles. That's amazing. The agency's figures indicate that 42 million people might have felt the rumbling. Well, this is a very tightly packed population area. So 42 million people, that's like 15% of the U.S. population felt this quake. Now, there is something called the Ramapo Fault Line, which extends from the Hudson River in southeastern New York to just south of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. So that's a long region, and that's a fault line, which I guess means that it's susceptible to these quivers and quakes that the earth can produce. Now, there were many officers in Tewksbury and Lebanon Township. There were officers in Tewksbury, there were officers in Tewksbury and Lebanon Townships that spent the day responding to calls near the center of the quake. And then the Chopper 6 was overhead as firefighters traveled around town to assess damages. And the people thought this is pretty crazy. It's something we are not accustomed to in this area of the country. And one guy said he was in disbelief. Like, was that really an earthquake, he thought? Well, it was, baby, it was. And the damages are being assessed right now. And this is a day or so later, they're still assessing damages. But there haven't been many reports of serious damages. And the residents have been asked to document their damages and post them online if possible. Well, that's all I really want to say this morning, but we will keep you up to date as the events unfold, because this is not a one-day affair. Take care. Have a great day.